everybody. Welcome to your April 2026 energy update. I'm Katie Sutton, intuitive channel and founder of Zen Within Academy and the New Earth Now School. There are four big themes that I want to share with you all this month. I think that April is going to ask us to move forward. We got a lot of forward vision and clarity last month starting to come in. This is going to be the month where we have a lot of action and forward momentum. So it's time to get going, my friends. So let's talk about the themes. So the first is anchored integrity. And this theme is really all about owning your values and owning them with deep integrity. There is something afoot in the field that is really asking us this month to anchor into the honest truth of who we are, what we value, what matters to us, even the quirky things that matter to us, really owning the fullness of that. I think that this is coming up in our collective consciousness because we have so many people that are demonstrating acting out of integrity, that this focus of really dropping into our values and figuring out what matters to us and holding that integrity is important because we are shifting the energy on the planet of how we hold power and how power structures are created. And so much of patterning around power and power dynamics is up in flux right now. And as individuals, we have to figure out really what makes us tick. Where are our non-negotiables? Where will we not lay down a particular value in favor of what somebody else wants of us? Where are we willing to be uncompromising in our truth and our integrity? That's really what this month is asking us for. And I think that you might find that there are choices that you have been making or things that you have been doing that are actually out of integrity with your truth. I think that's going to come to light this month when we have all this action energy that's asking us to take really bold forward movement and forward steps in our life. And so this integrity is more of embodying the truth of who we are rather than performing. If we're performing, we are aligning with it with what everybody else around us really wants from us or expects from us or what we think they expect from us, not aligning in our truth. And so this is a month to really look at all of the houses of your life, everything from your relationship house to how you're operating at work, how you're caring for your body, how you are in your spiritual practice, looking at all the areas of your life and say, am I in integrity with myself? Am I doing what I know to be true for me, what I feel is in alignment for me, or am I operating in somebody else's template? And when we get to the fourth theme, you'll start to understand some of these templates that we'll be clearing. So really pay attention this month to what it means for you to be standing and rooted in your truth and what choices reflect who you really are at your core, not who you've been conditioned to be. Those are the things that I want you to focus on in this first theme. Okay. So the second theme is aligned momentum. Just as we are anchoring into our integrity in the first theme, what we're really doing is creating alignment within our being. When we are in alignment within our being with ourself and our values, taking forward action seems actually a lot more simple. When the universe presents something to us as an action that we can take, if we're really in alignment, we know right away if that action is something that we want to move forward in. And remember that I told you all that this year there would be so many choices of how we could move forward because it's a 1 year. We would get a lot of options. And your activity in January, February, and March was really to slow down and figure out a little bit more about clarity about what you really wanted and who you are, so that you could be in that state of alignment, which we're going to really be anchoring this month to be able to take the action. We've been preparing for April since January. We've been preparing for this go month since January. And it might feel that way. You might feel like you've been really stuck and not able to move forward and things are just not happening. And you've been trying to get projects off the ground and they're moving really slowly, or you're trying to take action and you're getting a lot of pushback. A lot of those energies are going to clear in the month of April. I don't think it'll be at the 1st of April, the very beginning, but as we get into the 2nd and the 3rd and the 4th week of April, I think we're going to be moving out of that and into this action energy. So pay attention to what that means for you as you think about momentum. Where in your life are you already operating in momentum? What's already flowing, and how could that expand? And then how can you take what's working over here in this part of your life where you have momentum and take the learnings of that and then transfer that over to another area of your life where you've been feeling stuck or stagnant? It's really about looking at all of the energy that you have access to. And when you're in alignment, you have access to more energy. When you're not in alignment, you have things that are depleting you and taking you out of right relationship. And so they're pulling on your energy and extracting from your energy. So if you're in alignment, you can take that forward action. You can find the momentum. So it is a month to make sure that if you need support, that you're asking for it, that you are really trusting that if you make a move, that even if you make a quote unquote wrong move, which is never actually possible, that the universe will catch you. This isn't a month to just go slow and tentative and quiet. This is a month to take some bold action. So at least find one place in your life where you can take some bold action, maybe something that you've been afraid to do for months and months, or maybe even longer. This is a month to really just take some bold action somewhere in your life. And I promise you that it will move energy. Sometimes we feel stuck because we're not taking action anywhere. And if we can take one small action, that starts to create a little bit of that momentum so we can get out of that stuck place in other parts of our lives as well. Okay, so that's the second theme, aligned momentum. Let's talk about the third theme, which is embodied worth. This energy is very different than anything that I have really connected with and channeled before. I know that I talked to you all about inherent worth, knowing that you are worthy, even if you're not being productive, all of those things. There is a energetic code, is the best way I know how to describe it, coming in this month. I'm already feeling it, that is activating us at the heart chakra and into our lower chakras of really understanding on a deep level that we are worthy. I think part of the reason why this is activating in this deeper felt sense now is that we are starting to see more clearly the systems and structures that have been created that are falling apart that made us believe that we were not worthy, and how false those systems really are. We've been working on this dismantling and getting ready for dismantling of power structures and systems for so long. They're actually in the process of falling apart. And when you witness something that you gave your power away to falling apart, you start to realize that the whole thing is a house of cards. And when we start to drop into a deeper understanding and embodiment of our worth, we release those places where we're overgiving, overproving, overextending in order to earn our place. This is not a month to try to prove yourself in somebody else's eyes. Let them think what they think and know your worth. Know what you're bringing to the table, and look at all of the non-tangible things that you're bringing to the table as well. I have been working with people on this a lot in owning their wisdom and owning their experience. That includes all the hard shit that's happened to you too. That is lived experience that you have access to, and wisdom of things that you have moved through that you can use to help other people, that you can use to be a way shower in the world. There is value to everything that you have experienced in your human life in this incarnation, even the hard things. I know it may not feel very valuable to have moved through some of the hard things that you have moved through, but think about the fires that you have weathered and think about what's happening in the world. There are so many people who haven't got the resiliency to weather some of the storms that I know some of you have been through in your dark nights of the soul. There is wisdom in that. That is what is needed in our collective consciousness right now so that we can stay rooted in ourselves and rooted in our power while chaos is happening, while destruction is happening around us. There is so much inherent value and worth in those lived experiences. That's what I mean by embodied worth. It is not what you're doing in the world. It's not the widgets that you're creating. It's not the things that you've been taught, that you know, that you've studied. These are lived experiences that you have had, and the worthiness that comes from those lived experiences. You guys have seen some stuff. I know you have, in your spiritual process, in your inner child landscape, in your past. I know you all have been through things, and there is worth in that. And so this is uncovering that worthiness and that wisdom and allowing the pain to fall away and taking that worthiness and that wisdom forward into our expression and really anchoring that into our body, anchoring that understanding of our embodied worth into our choices, and really anchoring that into our lower chakras so that we can actually have the capacity to receive a reflection back to us of what that worth is. And I am sure that some of you are going to be doing some financial work this month in your financial landscape, your financial house. Of course, we've got so many things triggered in the collective that keep getting more expensive. And it's really asking us as a mirror of, what do we value? We're having to choose, what do we value? Where do we put our finances? Where do we put our money? How do we value things in the external? That is a reflection of how we're valuing ourselves in the internal too. So if there's an imbalance on the inside, you better believe in your financial landscape, there's going to be a reflected imbalance on the outside and how you're getting paid, how you're getting compensated, the money that comes your way or doesn't come your way, or how you're spending money. I suspect those are all going to be themes this month of April, and you're going to have opportunities to invest in yourself in certain places this month. And then you're going to have other opportunities that say, yeah, that's not an investment in myself. That's an investment in something else. That's helping somebody else. That's not helping me. And I really need to take care of myself this month. And of course, there will probably be some service-oriented opportunities in this too, where you get to see what you have in comparison to others, not just in the financial landscape, but also in like your strength, your resiliency. You might have other people show up in your life this month that really are not able to hold this personal power that some of you are carrying. And that might wake you up a little bit to say, wow, these things that I've been through, like I know how to navigate some stuff. I can deal with some stressful things. This is going to be a month where you get to tap into that resiliency and really put it to the test. Okay. So that's the third theme, embodied worth. Let's go to the fourth theme, which is rewriting the lineage. This is the one that I'm most excited about because I think it's going to be at the forefront of our healing circle on April 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And this is really about looking at where our ancestors have gotten to and knowing that we're going further. There are things happening in our human collective consciousness right now that have never happened on this planet. Things that our ancestors could have never dreamed of. Some of those things are really great. Some of those things are really not so great. We have and are having experiences that are beyond what our ancestors thought were possible. This is true on the microcosm level and on the macrocosm level. You are absolutely not here to repeat what came before you. You are not here to repeat all of those same ancestral patterns, all of those ancestral loops. This is a powerful time of really recognizing the inherited patterns, beliefs, and emotional imprints that you are carrying from your ancestors and choosing differently. As I have been working on this with clients, I have been clearing an immense amount of stuck energy in the ancestral lines, which happens about once or twice a year where we have this window of time where we're doing deep ancestral work. I think that this is a good sign about what's going to come in future months, because when I witness us do a lot of ancestral work, we're laying the groundwork for receivership of something really big. And I think we really need that right now. I think we all could use a little miracle consciousness in our lives. As you witness things that you are activated into, we talked about being in integrity with self, and you're like realizing this month that maybe there are places where you're out of integrity. Notice if that choice that you've been making that's out of integrity is some ancestral conditioning that you have, because it's always been done that way in your family. And just challenge the status quo this month. Decide to do it differently. Decide to do the birthdays differently. Decide to do the holidays differently. Decide to show up in how you see your worthiness differently. Decide to pull out of needing to have the same job that your family wanted you to have since you were a little kid. Make some bold choices this month to pull out of that ancestral energy. And as we do that, we get a higher access to freedom, where we're literally seeing these ancestral energies and we're saying, okay, that's great. I appreciate that that has given me some level of knowledge, some level of wisdom, some level of resiliency. I will take that, and then I will have more. And we should want all of the future generations to be able to have access to more. I'm not talking about in the material realm. I know that's where everybody's mind goes first. I'm talking about access to more aliveness, more joy, more connection, more love, Those are the things that I'm talking about. And a lot of us have ancestral programs that keep us really stuck and take us out of the true trajectory of our life and into a repeating loop that happens to our mothers, to our fathers, to our aunts, to our uncles, to our grandparents. And a lot of times I see people that are trying to do things differently than their ancestors, and they're going in the opposite direction, which means that they're still very much informed by their ancestors. What I mean by rewriting the lineage is that you get to be a wild card. You get to do what you really came here to do, and it may be counter to everything that your ancestors did before you. And it may not be in your career. It might be in how you relate, maybe how you show up in partnership. Maybe it's how you show up in friendship. Maybe it's how you co-create with other people in business. There are so many different ways that you can just choose to be a wild card in your life and not do it the way your ancestors have done it. I know that so many of you that listen to these videos and are a part of my soul group and are taking this information in are breaking cycles. You are all cycle breakers. You came here to interrupt these patterns, but you're not realizing how powerful you are as you're interrupting those patterns. You're getting bogged down in this ancestral energy, and it's really heavy and really dense. That's why I want to do an activation on it in the healing circle, because when you get bogged down in it, you can't see your way out. It's like you can't see the forest for the trees, and you don't even know what you have access to. You don't even know how powerful you are because that ancestral energy is really bogging you down. I often see it in the chakra column, especially in the heart, the throat, the sacral chakra, as bindings, as energy of binding that says, oh, this is as far as we can go. This is the best that we can do. And a lot of that energy is a protective energy that's trying to keep you safe. And so we need to realize that there's probably some fear stories and some real ancestral trauma that have created these lineage loops, as I call them, that we get stuck in. So this is going to be a month to rewrite your lineage. And I'm really excited about that. I think this is going to be a great month. The overarching theme for our healing circle on April 8th is this understanding of honest, aligned, and rooted in your worth. So we're going to cover all four of these themes. I'm going to bring through an ancestral lineage healing, which I think is going to be very powerful. I love working with ancestral energies. And then we're going to be really working on that embodied worth and aligned momentum piece and bringing in that alignment in our chakra column so that we can sit in that worthiness and that aliveness. Okay, so that's what's happening this month. I hope that this month treats you well with all this action energy. We don't have any planets in retrograde right now. We got a lot of go forward momentum. So enjoy the ride and don't forget to play and laugh and be creative along the way. All right, have a great month, everyone. Thanks for watching.